Good morning, Niall. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to this morning's 10 o'clock bite-sized session. Niall, how are you getting on? It's great to have you here. We're going to be talking about boosting your digital marketing. We had a great chat in the waiting room while we were talking. Actually, we had such a great chat, I didn't go through all the technicals that I was going to set up for Niall at the start. So we're not going to wing it. You're in good hands. It's all good. I'll start the slideshow. Niall will take us through his wonderful presentation for an hour. Now, I've got a couple of bits of housekeeping that I'd like to get done for you. First of all, before I cue Niall in and we start the show, my name is Aidan Finucane. I want to say hello and welcome. I'm part of the team here at Trained In, and we're absolutely delighted to be working with Taste for Success SkillNet on the Bite Size program. Hours of individual workshops, which in and of themselves are full of great and relevant content, allows us to interact with some great trainers, mentors, and peers, present company included, of course. And they also provide a great collection of diverse knowledge points, which together form a great resource. Now, I've got another little bit of housekeeping that I've got that I would like to share with everybody, and it's about tomorrow. We're going to be introducing a registration link for Simon Haig's webinar tomorrow. So I'm going to put that in the chat, and I'd like people to have a look at that before we start, we finish today. And I'd also like to get people to register for the Taste for Success Learning Management System, okay? So to access the recording of this session at the end, you only have to register once. You'll get access to the library of all the information that we have. I'll put the link in a couple of times, so I'll do that right now, actually, first of all. And I'll put that in the chat. But right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cue Niall in. Niall, I'm going to start your slideshow right now. I'm going to remove myself gracefully. And then I can move the camera and the little window around during the presentation. Don't get worried about it if it moves too much. I'll just be moving it out of the way if it interrupts any of the text for you. And without further ado, I'm going to hand it over to you, Niall, and take it away. Thank you kindly.
Thank you very much, Aidan. And yes, Simon Haig, great guy, and definitely well worth registering for that event. I know him well. Hello, everyone. My name is Niall Parfitt. I am from Atlanticus Digital, and I'm delighted to be working again with Trained In and Taste for Success and SkillNet. So basically today what we'll look at is the online customer journey, looking at the various digital marketing channels that you've got, digital copywriting, how do you measure performance, looking at search engine optimization as well, getting found on search, found on Google, video marketing, determining digital marketing KPIs. What I'll do is I've got tons of resources that I'll be able to provide you along with the slides, which I'll pass on to Aidan, and Aidan can pass that on to everyone as well. So one of them is looking at how to write a digital marketing plan. So I'll give you a digital marketing template that you can use. How to look at things like email marketing and how email marketing fits into digital marketing or inbound marketing strategy then as well, and how to structure email to gain responses. So a bit about me, 20 years experience working with various organizations, companies like An Post, Queen's University, Donegal County Council, Fathom Staff Sports, and it's all been around digital marketing. When I first started my role in Ulster Bank 20 years ago, there was no such thing as Google and Facebook, and now it's completely changed. I've experience of working on agencies, and I've also worked as a consultant for Intertrade Ireland and Enterprise Ireland as well. And in practice, what I preach, I have certifications on nearly everything you can possibly imagine. I'm a HubSpot Gold Solutions Partner, and then I have tons of certifications with regards to HubSpot. So a really good resource for anything that you want to learn about digital marketing. And I'll maybe mention some really good resources at the end of the presentation. And I'm also a Sana partner, and then I'm also Google Analytics and Google AdWords certified as well. And definitely use the resources that are available to you. There are a lot of free resources that Google and Facebook will provide. So I'll make sure and provide some links for Aidan that you can further on your learning after this presentation. One of the things particularly pertinent, and I want to get this across because it has changed over the last couple of years, particularly with the pandemic and COVID. And I like this quote, and this is a co-founder of HubSpot, that Dharmesh Shah said, many companies have forgotten how to sell to actual people. Humans care about the entire experience, not just the marketing or sales or service. To really win in the modern age, you must solve for humans. And I think that's something that's kind of been lost a lot with regards to the amount of communication access that we have got. It's remembering that there's humans on the end of who you're trying to communicate to, and it's making sure that you can help them in the best possible way. Anybody remember this? This was a very kind of prominent figure in our house when I was growing up. So it used to be the house phone, and basically, if anybody wanted to get in touch with me, they would have had to go on through my mum, and then she would have picked up the phone, and then she would have communicated who that person was on the phone. My mother was the gatekeeper, and it's now changed completely because we're now using mobile technology, so mobile phones, smartwatches, etc. And they are really now our pieces of communication. And I suppose Steve Jobs, this quote is about the iPhone. It is not just a communication tool, but it's a way of life, and it's completely flipped the way we communicate. And I suppose understanding how the mobile works and how you can communicate via mobile, it's very, very important when it comes to digital marketing. I worked in an agency back in 2008, and it was amazing when we were looking at Google Analytics, so web analytics for websites. It used to be about 70% of people were viewing our clients' websites on a desktop computer. That's flipped now. So it's definitely 70% of people are looking at them on a mobile. So make sure that any content you're producing on the digital marketing side of things, it's mobile first. So whether that's video, whether that's social media, whether that's blog content, look at it from the perspective of a mobile user, particularly when you're publishing that content. And it's interesting, just as I said there, when I was working in the agency, really, the LinkedIn, Facebook were coming to fruition. Now it's completely changed, and a lot of our marketing is done via social media platforms because we're able to be more targeted in the way we communicate. And it's amazing to think that all these platforms, whether it's to create a LinkedIn company page or Facebook page or to create a Google My Business page, is completely free. And the reason that's free is the more people that are on that, the more people that can be marketed to based on the information that you provide. So they're absolutely fantastic from a marketing perspective, and you get phenomenal data on the back of that. But you can even be even more targeted and more. You get more data as well if you pay money to these platforms as well. So a bit about just to break down digital marketing, and apologies for people who are already. Oh, sorry, Aidan. Somebody saying that they can't hear anything at the moment. Sorry, Deirdre there. Can everybody hear?
Hi, Niall. You're coming through clear as a bell here. I haven't got back to Deirdre just yet. We've got 7 people. Okay. We've got Deirdre, Leslie, Anya, Kevin, Roxy, Claudia, and Stefan. If you guys can hear, if there's any problems.
Yeah. Just noticed there in the chat.
Yeah, she got it sorted.
Brilliant.
Yeah,
okay, brilliant, fantastic. Okay, Deirdre. No problem. So so to break it down in digital marketing, there's 3 areas I would look at. Own media, so that's things like your website, your social media profiles, your email marketing, your branding assets such as your logo, your blog, your online brochures, any written content that you've got on there, ebooks, white papers, etc. And then you've got earned media. So this is media coverage of your products, your services, or online content. So if there's social media posts from others that share your content or reference your company, online reviews and ratings then as well. articles that your business contributes to other sites then. So that is earned media. And then there's paid media. So you probably see that a lot. You've got Google probably offer you a free £75 voucher to advertise using Google AdWords or through Facebook then as well. So paid media is digital advertising. So you could be on banner display. It could be native advertising. It could be pay per click, and then it could be boosted social media posts then as well. So a bit of pros and cons to each of those sections then. Own media, you're in complete control over that. That's your own media that you can use. It's low cost to create, and it can help you drive traffic and conversions to your website then as well. And it allows you to have control over who do you bring to your website, so you attract the right people to your website as well. You become a thought leader on that particular subject area. If your content is optimized for search, then it speaks to your target audience then, and it will bring the right people in and the ones that are most likely to be the customers. However, the disadvantages to that is it is time consuming to do that, because that's all on you. So for example, I'm a one-man band. I run my own digital marketing and inbound marketing agency. I am in charge of all my marketing as well. So that includes any social media content or any blog content that I produce on my website. And you will not receive any results without a strategy with regards to that. So make sure that assets need to be driven by a strong digital marketing strategy. And as I mentioned, we'll talk about a bit about that later on. With earned media, the advantages then is your audience will trust the words more than when it comes to evaluating your product. And that means, things like TripAdvisor is a great example, which reaffirms your understanding of whether a place is good or a service is good or not. And it's something that I would rely on heavily if I'm going to look at a restaurant, and particularly in a place that I don't know. I'm gone are the days where it used to be word of mouth. The first thing I do is look at the reviews on a particular establishment if I want to go for something to eat as well. So your audience will trust the words of others more than yours when it comes to evaluating your product then as well. It is free. Now, there are PR agencies that can help you with regards to earned media, but majority of the earned media is actually free. And what it helps is to help boost awareness of your brand by reaching new audiences then. So a lot of these websites have got a lot of clout, such as the TripAdvisors and Trustpilots that are out there as well. The great thing is it can drive referral traffic and conversions then as well. The issue, and this is what's quite scary, and this is since I've been a consultant for the past 10 years, working for a number of things up in the north here, and obviously Intertrade and Enterprise Ireland. The worry for people is with TripAdvisor and Trustpilot, you can't control it. And it means if you're drawing negative attention, there's nothing you can do to remove it. It's in complete control of the people who are producing that piece of content. It does take time to accumulate reviews and build relationships with people who give you the coverage you've earned, but it is a work in progress. What I will do is will recommend is if you're looking for recommendations, if somebody says very positive things about your business or your services, make sure you get them there and then to fill in that positive review. Feedback is so important, and that means if there is any negative comments, it will be diluted by all the positive ones that are produced to your section. Advantage to paid media, well, it's visibility guaranteed. Particularly if you've got a solid paid strategy, it's not just throwing money to Google and Facebook. If you've got a strategy, you know who you're targeting, and you've got a good budget and a controlled budget, that it can pay dividends massively. The great thing about paid media is that it appears in front of the right people quickly. You can be so targeted with regards to your communications, particularly on Facebook. It's phenomenal who you can target based on demographics, interests, etc. And it can be used to promote your own assets to a wider audience. So if you create a blog content, you can use your own media and your paid media and combine the two. So you've got a more holistic approach when it comes to an overall digital marketing strategy. So it's more blended. So you can create your own content, but then you can promote it and be very hyper targeted with that content using paid media advantages. Obvious disadvantage, first of all, is it can be expensive, and it only works as long as you're throwing cash at it then as well. So one of the things is look at the return on investment. Now, it's funny, I was working with a client about 2 years ago, and they'd spent £15,000 with regards to their Google AdWords campaigns. And I asked them what their return on investment was on that £15,000. They couldn't answer me. So when I looked at the analytics, I found that they made only 2 sales over that £15,000 investment. So it can get expensive, but it can be really, really beneficial. Look at the return on investment constantly you're getting from those channels. The other thing, it won't always reach the right people. Although people will see it, it won't necessarily make them want to visit your website. So a very strong call to action and paid media is very important when it comes to those tactics. So the common digital marketing tactics, as we've discussed, and we'll go into these in a bit more detail. So you've got SEO, you've got content marketing, social media marketing, you've got pay-per-click, affiliate marketing, you've got marketing automation, you've got email marketing, you've got online PR, you've got inbound marketing, and you've got sponsored content. And I'll explain what each one of those is. So first of all, it's search engine optimization. So search engine optimization, it means optimizing your website so that it helps your website appear higher on search results. And you can have off-page SEO as well. So this type of SEO focuses on all the activity that takes place off the page. So when looking to optimize your website, so backlinks. So if there's an article that has mentioned your website on there, make sure you contact the author of that website and say, I see you've mentioned my name. Could you include a link back to my website? And it's amazing. One of my Intertrade Ireland clients last year, I could see a real massive spike in the amount of their traffic. And it was because I think it was the Daily Mirror had mentioned their company. And you could see the day that article was published with the link back to their website, and the traffic just spiked. So it's very important that if you do see any mentions of your website or your company, make sure that there's a link going back to your website from that publication. Technical SEO as well. So that looks at the back end of your website. So how your pages are coded, i.e. page speed, for example. So it's amazing. You can actually go into the developer side of things and look at the gobbledygook in the background, the code and the background of your website. And that's how Google views your content then as well. So there's different free tools you can use that will crawl your website and tell you from Google's perspective how the site infrastructure and architecture is set up, and making sure that the page speed is optimal for mobile phones particularly as well. Content marketing. So content marketing is creation and promotion of content assets for the purpose of generating brand awareness, traffic growth, lead generation, customers. And one of the most commonly used pieces of content marketing as part of a content marketing strategy is blog posts. So writing and publishing articles on a company blog shows thought leadership and expertise, but it also provides good organic search traffic for your business. So if it's interspersed with key themes and keywords that matter to you and your business and that your customer will be looking for, that will help generate good organic search traffic for your business then as well. Another great content marketing strategy is ebooks and white papers, downloadable content. It's something I produce on my website, so free downloads, free thought leadership pieces of content. So, top metrics that your boss, top social media metrics that your boss would be interested in. They're free pieces of content on my website. So what happens is when the person lands on my website, they have to give me their email address and their first name and their last name, and then they're able to access that piece of content. And what that happens is that's generating a lead for myself. So the person gets that content, I get the lead, and then I'm able to communicate further about my products and services to that person. Obviously, from a GDPR sense as well, you can have opt-in and as part of that form, so that people can click whether they want to receive any further marketing communications from yourself. Infographics are a great way from a content marketing, particularly if you've got a very complex subject matter that you want to talk about. Infographics are fantastic. That gives visual content or visual overview, particularly steps in a process, and it helps visualize a concept that helps people understand your product and your service a bit better then as well. So infographics, blogs, white papers, downloadable content are great examples of content marketing. Social media marketing, I mean, we widely use a lot of social media platforms that are out there. Facebook, from a B2C point of view, is absolutely fantastic, but there's only one show in town when it comes to B2B marketing, and that's LinkedIn, the only professional network that is out there. So if you're in a B2B side of things, then LinkedIn is absolutely fantastic. Facebook, Twitter have great methods and strategies that allow you to communicate with your customers. What I would recommend, if you're starting out, try them all, look at the metrics in the background, and see which ones are working best for you. Some people use Pinterest as part of their digital marketing strategy, and particularly people when it comes to interior designers and producing concepts. Pinterest is a really, really good example. Instagram has just exploded when it comes to popularity, obviously owned by Facebook, and it's great that you can publish content to Facebook, and it ties in nicely with Facebook, so that can be repurposed onto Facebook then as well. YouTube, great source of content. I have two kids that are just complete addicts when it comes to YouTube. And then obviously the new kids in the block, the Snapchats and the TikToks that are out there. I have a TikTok account. I'm definitely not the demographic for it, but I want to understand how that works, because you can guarantee the technologies that are coming from TikTok, they're already starting to be adopted by Facebook and YouTube and LinkedIn that are out there. So TikTok short video content, you've started to see something similar appearing on YouTube, YouTube Shorts, and the same thing for stories on Facebook and Instagram. We're becoming more and more time poor. We don't have time to watch long pieces of content anymore, and our attention spans have definitely decreased. So that's the reason why TikTok has become such a valuable source of communication. So definitely familiarize yourself with all those platforms that are out there. Pay-per-click, as I talked about, this is obviously paid media strategy. So you've got Google Ads, which allows you to pay for top slots on Google search engine results page. Obviously, that's at a price, so you have to pay that. So it could be per click of the links you place. Obviously, there's paid ads on social media platforms, so LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, they all offer paid options where you can be very, very targeted with your advertising. And with paid ads on Facebook, you can pay to customize a video post or slideshow, and then basically Facebook will publish that into the news feeds of people who match that particular audience that you're talking about. And obviously, you mentioned there Twitter ads as well. So Twitter have very, very good ad campaigns that can be very targeted based on demographic and geographical area then as well. I mentioned there LinkedIn. So LinkedIn, you can actually post up content, but then you can have sponsored messages that appear based on various demographics, such as geographical location, seniority of businesses, and types of business then as well. So you can look at it based on industry and background, and you can make your post appear particularly to those areas. But there's tons of other paid strategies with LinkedIn. Email is a big one, so you can send targeted LinkedIn messages to individuals based on their industry and background then as well. So it's paid marketing strategies. There's also affiliate marketing. So this is performance-based advertising where you receive commission for promoting someone else's products or services on your website. So it could be hosting video ads through the YouTube partner program, or it could be posting affiliate links from your social media accounts. So you can use that. One of the things that I'm very, very interested in is obviously marketing automation that's out there. So no longer there could be processes that you're doing manually, but there could be an automation piece that you can build on the back of it. So this example here, if you're sending out emails, you can automatically send its emails to your subscribers, but you can also help shrink and expand your content list as needed. So your newsletters are only going to the people who want to see them in their inbox. So for example, a basic piece of automation that I have on my website is if you download a white paper on my website, what happens is you'll automatically receive an email that's from myself, but that is a piece of automation that's set up. So if Contact, I basically told my software, if Contact completes that form, automatically send a personalized email thanking them for downloading my piece of content. And what you can do is you can set up sequences on the back end of that then as well. So delay it for 3 days and then automatically reach out using marketing automation to that person again, just to double check how they're keeping and whether there's anything else that you can help. Obviously, it's important not to be intrusive and persistent and annoying, but obviously offering that opportunity to help people and be very targeted with regards to your automation as well, not just to everyone, the people that matter, the people who are interested in your brand. Social media post scheduling, there's a few examples that are out there at the moment, and I'll talk about a bit about those later on. Some great scheduling posts in, so you can build up your content strategy from social media side of things, and you can have those all scheduled in at a particular time, so they're going out as and when the particular day of the week or the time of the day. So it is annoying. I know a lot of businesses still are acting in a reactive way, so just posting content as and when. But this allows you to think a bit more about your strategy going forward, so you can have posts scheduled in bulk for that particular month, which means it's peace of mind that you've got that content going out at good times of the day that your followers will be able to engage with. Lead nurturing workflows you can set up, and one of the examples there, just from a form completion point of view. So that's a good lead nurturing example, a good basic lead nurturing example. But lead nurturing workflows is that generating leads and converting those leads into customers can be a long process. But what you can do is you can automate that by sending leads specific emails and content once they fit a certain criteria. So that example of downloading the white book or the ebook, a white paper, that's a great example of just sending that automation piece and just sending the email as and when that happens. Obviously, you can do campaign tracking and reporting. So you can use marketing automation to sort everything, automatically put people who have engaged with your content into lists, and you can track performance of that campaign over time then as well. One of the most commonly used methods of digital marketing is email marketing then as well. And it was amazing just during COVID, a lot of my clients, their open rates were sky high because people had time to read the emails that were coming through. And it was amazing now, but particularly with more home working, people have that time where they're uninterrupted, where they can open the emails or they can click on content then. So it's definitely got a bit of a resurgence with regards to email marketing. I find it highly effective, particularly the fact that you can be very targeted. It can be used as part of your content marketing strategy. So if you've got blog subscribers, you can, when you publish a blog, that you can set up email marketing to automatically send an email to say that the new blog has been published to individuals. You can send follow-up emails to website visitors who have downloaded something, that example that I provided. But you can also send customer welcome emails then as well. And you can use holiday promotions, loyalty program members as well, if you've got that sort of strategy in place. And then tips or similar series emails for customer nurturing. So what I do a lot with my content, again, it's back to that help thing. I've got quite a lot of thought leadership and helpful content that I want to provide for my clients. So I will use email marketing to publish that content, which brings people to my blog. And obviously there's forms and content where they want to complete, they maybe want to meet with me, or they want to have a consultation with myself. Online PR. So this is, reporter outreach via social media. So talking to journalists on Twitter, a great way to develop a relationship with the press. And that's a great example of earned media opportunities for your company. If there's something positive that's coming out from your organization, maybe there's, for example, up in the north here, the pharmaceutical company Almac has announced 1,000 extra jobs. I can guarantee that they have contacted a number of journalists, including the BBC, the Belfast Telegraph, up here, to let them know about this positive news story. So that is a great example of gaining earned media opportunities for that organization then as well. And then one of the things that just frustrates the hell out of me is if you've got a positive review or a negative review, the amount of companies that don't respond to those reviews, regardless of whether they're positive or negative. So making sure that if anybody is on Google and gives you a positive review, by all means, make sure you respond and thank them for that. But also, if there's a bad review that's coming up, make sure that you are engaging with that. Get your side of the story across, because you can guarantee that people are looking at what your reviews are like, and what is your response to any negative content that comes across. Good company reviews helps you humanize your brand and deliver powerful messaging that protects your reputation. That's so important nowadays, particularly with the fact that people have full access to reviewing your business across various platforms. But also, when not just on reviews, but also engaging on comments on your website, your blogs. Again, similar to the way you would respond to reviews. Definitely the way to encourage positive conversation around your industry then as well. One thing I would say about that, it's amazing the amount of businesses that don't respond to positive comments or comments on their social media posts then as well. It really helps with the engagement on your posts, but also the reach on your post if you respond to those comments as and when they appear on your various social media platforms. So make sure not only on reviews, on your blogs content then as well, but make sure you're responding and engaging with people who communicate via your social media posts. Okay, so we've looked at various strategies. One of the strategies that I'm most interested in, I think is hugely beneficial, is inbound marketing. So that refers to a marketing methodology where you attract, engage, and delight your customers at every stage of the buyer's journey. Every stage, your customer, maybe whether they're interested just on your products or services, or whether they made a decision to buy your products or services, you have to be in a position to attract, engage, and delight customers at every stage. So you can use a digital marketing tactic listed previously throughout an inbound marketing strategy, or you can create a customer experience that works for the customer, not against them. So I will talk a bit about that later on then as well. Sponsored content, that's where you as a brand pay another company or create and promote content that discusses your brand and service another way. So one popular type of sponsored content is obviously influencer marketing. So you pay somebody to speak about your product then. And obviously with that type of sponsored content, the brand sponsors the influencer to publish posts or talk about content then as well. So one of my clients is actually in the beauty industry, and they will pay influencers to talk about their brand and their products. And that because that person has such a standing and has such an understanding and a trust via Instagram, that's where they're paying it, and they can see the return on investment in that particular strategy then as well. So that's the different strategies. I wanted to touch briefly on social media awareness. I think it's important that you know, even though you're using the strategies that are out there, be careful about what you do. Now, I don't have time to go through all of these today, but for example, this was one that Adidas published just after the Boston Marathon, and that was using a social media scheduling tool. And they published, "Congrats, you survived the Boston Marathon." You can see the connotations that something like that could have done. Very, very innocently done by Adidas, and they scheduled the piece of content, but obviously we know what happened, the tragic events of the Boston Marathon. Also make sure that you have you've got control over who accesses all your applications, whether it's social media, or whether it's your CRM, or whether it's your website, because this is an example of HMV when they were going through the redundancy processes, and their employees got access to their social media accounts. And you can see this is where they went through a running commentary of what was happening within the company. Hugely damaging from a PR perspective. And just make sure that you're sensitive of what's happening. It's amazing how many times it actually happens, and almost on a daily basis I see that. You know, this is one of Snapchat's strategies. And they had would you rather slap Rihanna or punch Chris Brown? And there was a domestic abuse issue between these two, and it's just staggering that the marketing team approved something like that that came across. Everyone will remember the Dove example, where if somebody with an ethnic background changing her top and then turning into a white person, that got a massive backlash on social media. So just be aware of what's out there, and also be aware of any scams that are coming across them as well. So there's various different examples that are out there via particularly Instagram and Facebook as well. One thing I would say just for social media awareness is create a unique password. Make sure you've got two-step verification that is set up. So if you're logging in, it sends a quick post to your phone and you approve that as a login. You can use websites such as howsecureismypassword.net then as well to see how secure your password is then. But Google and Facebook are very, very good. They're also providing great password examples that are out there. Clue into your privacy settings on all social media. Never allow automatic logins, and also make sure you disable any old accounts. One thing I would say is disable and turn off any geotagging if you feel it's not going to help your business at all, and remove any third-party plugins from Facebook and Instagram. And always be selective when accepting friends. And if the examples that I showed you there, think twice before you post any content as well, particularly if it's from a personal perspective. Also, last thing I will say is install tracker blockers if you feel that you need to, just that it will stop any tracking from websites. So one of the good examples is Disconnect and Privacy Badger then as well. So we've talked about the various aspects of digital marketing and what you can look at. What is a marketing strategy? How does that look like? Part of Institute of Marketing, who I'm a member of, they define marketing strategy as strategic marketing that focuses on the understanding of continuously changing markets to build competitive advantage and maximizing opportunities to develop products and services to deliver both customer value and high profit potential. And there's three parts to a strategy. So thinking about what your challenge is, and then thinking of a guiding policy for dealing with that challenge. So how are you going to do that? How are you going to accomplish that? And then finally, a set of targeted actions that are necessary for you to accomplish that then as well. So I'll just touch on that. Sorry, that's a good video on that'll be part of the links. A guy, digital marketer Neil Patel, talks about various marketing strategies, but we probably won't have time to look at it today. But what I would say from marketing basics is, if you've got blogging capabilities, publish a blog, advertise on social media platforms. If you're you can control the budget and the way you and what you can publish, but look at how targeted you can be on those platforms, as well as looking at the results that you've got on the back end of that as well. If you have if you are providing a service, or you've got products you want to talk about, offer free educational resources then. Downloadable white papers, brochures, guides, help customers to make that final choice of purchasing a product or service. Search engine optimize your digital content. So definitely use your keywords and ways of attracting people to come and land on your site. So preempt any search terms people will be using. Create giveaways or contests. Test different campaign types to determine which works for your best audience. Organize webinars. Webinars are great, such as this. Great opportunity for you to talk in more detail about the products and services you provide. And then obviously podcasts have just gone through the roof since the pandemic. That's a great way of talking good and providing good thought leadership content as well about your business and your industry. And obviously then creating an email marketing campaign. So a digital marketing campaign is it's the building blocks and actions within your digital marketing strategy that move you towards a specific end goal then as well. And the ways to create a good digital marketing strategy is, first of all, think about your buyer persona. And buyer personas are fictional types of who your ideal customer is. And you can think about who that customer is, what are their challenges, and what can your business do to alleviate those challenges as well. And I'll talk to you later on about a very good tool that will allow you to do that. Identify your goals and the digital marketing tools you'll need, and then evaluate your existing digital marketing channels and assets. So one of the things when I'm working with a client, what I usually do is do an audit and see how they have been using existing digital marketing channels, and then what improvements we can make based on that. As mentioned there, audit and plan your own media strategy, so that can be as part of an overall digital marketing audit, and identify your goals and the digital marketing tools that you'll need then as well, and audit and plan your earned media campaigns. So building your customer personas, this is an example of what a customer persona could like. So you can write this out. So you can look at quantitative and demographic information and qualitative and psychographic information then as well. So quantitative information could be location, age, income, job title. Qualitative could be goals, challenges, hobbies, interests, and priorities. So you've got an overview of that, exactly who your ideal customer is then as well. The next step will be to identify your goals and tools. So you've thought about who your customer is, what are the challenges and what you can do to alleviate those challenges, and then it's identifying the goals and tools. So tools that can help your strategy, then identifying goals on how you can achieve that, and then setting up reporting structure, thinking about KPIs and how you're going to measure that going forward. So there's no point in saying, you know, that's great, we're going to set up a strategy, we've got the goals, but how are you going to measure success at the end of it? Is it to increase your customer leads coming through your website by 10%, or is it to increase brand awareness by 35% then as well? Set up the goals that matter to you and your business. And then obviously evaluating your digital channels. We've talked about that. So looking at your own earned paid media framework currently, and seeing what assets that you could use going forward to improve that. What's worked, what hasn't, basically. Also looking at auditing and planning your own media strategies then as well. So looking at things like your About Us site page, product descriptions, blog posts, ebooks, infographics, podcasts, and social media posts. Having an overview about how they look from your perspective, but how they performed using things like Google Analytics or your social media analytics then as well. And then once you've started to think about that, you can start creating content creation plan. So thinking about the title, the format of the content that you want to produce, what is the overall goal? Are there promotional channels such as social media, such as email marketing? And you can outline basically that as part of your overall content creation plan. And then why are you creating this content? Is it to generate more leads to your website? Is it to create brand awareness? Is it to set up marketing qualified leads to pass on to your sales team? So think about why you're creating that content then as well. And what's the priority level? There's various pieces of content that I've got sitting waiting on my repository ready to publish, but some of them are low priority at the moment. There's one that's quite big that I want to publish next week, and that's going to be taking priority over everything else that I'm publishing. So set various priority limits on the content that you want to produce, and the time of day and the day of the week that you want to produce those. Also evaluating your earned media campaigns, so looking at any direct traffic that's coming up, so measuring how many hits your website's getting directly, but then also who's referring your website on from various channels then as well. So you can actually look at Google Analytics is a great example where you can look at who is referring onto your site. So I'm part of a number of business directories. I partner with a number of software companies. I'm able to see the referral traffic that those websites are able to provide for me then as well. Also, who's using Google to search you, what search terms are they using to find you then as well. Is email marketing working for you? One of the big metrics, but two big metrics for email marketing is open rate and click-through rate then as well. So how many people who received your email have actually opened it, and how many people have actually clicked through that then as well. And then social media and paid traffic, looking at the analytics on the back of that. So great way of auditing paid campaigns is looking at your Google AdWords, looking at Facebook paid advertising, Twitter ads, and LinkedIn ads then, and seeing the return on investment that you're providing. So once you've done that, so bringing all together when it comes to your social media strategy, recap of what you could have is clear profiles of your buyer personas, create one or more digital marketing specific goals, have an inventory of your existing owned, earned, and paid media. So a good audit of what you've currently got. Also audit your existing owned, earned, and paid media. So look at what's worked and what hasn't. And then start thinking about a content creation plan or wish list to take it forward then as well. So as I mentioned in the guide at the start, I have a template that's a good template provided by HubSpot that will walk you through your business summary and initiatives and help you build a target market and competitor strategy based on that. So it'll help you flesh out your marketing strategy. So thinking about budget you may not have a budget, specific channels, but most importantly, the metrics that you want to measure going forward to show success at the end of that particular strategy then as well. A couple of strategies that have worked very well. If anybody's seen Dollar Shave Club, fantastic strategy, really honest and brutally honest. I'll provide the links at the end of that. A very, very good video when it comes in. That's been out for probably about 8 or 9 years. This was Hostel World, used Chris Eubank, obviously very eccentric and somebody you wouldn't expect to be sitting in a hostel. He goes in and they basically have an advertising campaign with him actually staying in a hostel. And it's very, very funny, and it got huge engagement when it comes to YouTube views particularly. And then Follow the Frog, obviously very good for we're all being aware of renewable energy and saving the world. So that was a very, very good campaign that's got millions upon millions of views and raised awareness for the Amazon forests then as well. So have a few of those. I'll provide the links. Unfortunately, we're not going to have time to view each of the videos that are on there, but I'll provide links and you can watch them on your own free time. Just see the messages that are coming across and the kind of the way they communicate their brand and their message subtly that provides really, really good engagement on those platforms. So just want to touch on a few really, really good digital marketing tools that I would strongly recommend you can use. And most of these have a free version that you can test out to start off with. From a customer persona point of view, you can use HubSpot's Make My Persona tool, completely free. And that's asking those questions that we talked about previously. What's your customer's demographics, the quantitative and qualitative questions? What's your customer's demographics? What are their challenges? What you can do to alleviate those challenges? And it's a fantastic starting point to really understand your marketing strategy. Completely free from HubSpot. From content, one of the things, the most difficult things for business owners, for me as well, is trying to think, what are people wanting from content perspective from myself? Answer the Public is a fantastic platform that allows you to type in a search term and it will tell you the questions that people have been asking on Google based on that particular search term then as well. So it could be something like Northern Ireland, for example, and the questions could come up like, is Northern Ireland a safe place to live? where are good places to eat in Northern Ireland. It asks the who, the what, the why prepositions of people who have been looking at that particular search term. Really, really good understanding of what people are asking for when it comes to a particular search term that matters to your industry or your business. Google Analytics, it's amazing. Since Google Analytics has probably been around for well over 10 years. And it's amazing how underutilized it is by businesses. It is free for Google for you, and it's a free tool for you to measure the effectiveness of your channel and your website. You can also see what referral sites people are using. You can go right down to the very device that people are viewing your website on then as well. So definitely, if you don't have Google Analytics installed, get it installed onto your site. If you do, start setting up nice high-level dashboards that you can email yourself every week. Very, very beneficial tool, and it's changing and structured based on websites and setup. Google My Business, if you haven't used the Google My Business tool, please do. It is a great way of getting yourself prominently on Google for absolutely no cost at all. And it's a great opportunity to send people who are your happy customers to create reviews onto your website as well. You can, if you're publishing social media content, you can repurpose that content onto your Google My Business page, because there's a post functionality on there. So continue to share and update content constantly, because you're going to be competing with other places that are similar to your business in a similar location. So definitely use Google My Business. There's a great application on there for your phone, and you can publish content and upload photographs via the app there. Google AdWords, yeah, great. Great opportunity. I would, if you haven't dipped your toe in AdWords, go on. You'll definitely register with Google or search for a free, usually €100 voucher that you can get, and you can test the water. But definitely analyze the metrics that are coming across then as well. So definitely something worth looking at. So they're all free, and Facebook have vouchers as well as LinkedIn that you can test the water out and see how paid strategies could work for your business. One of the other things from a content suggestion point of view, Neil Patel here, if you're again looking for content to write based on a particular search term, that's Ubersuggest is a great way. It uses Google's keyword planner to find similar terms that people are searching for based on your particular search term. So, for example, I typed in Donegal, and it will produce content based on, based on the most engagement for that particular subject area. So you can see Donegal daily, weather for Donegal. A lot of people in Donegal talk about the weather, and they also talk about GA as well. But you can see the volume and the trend for those particular search terms as well. So you can use those search terms to your benefit. That's completely free. Ubersuggest, so it's free version that you can start analyzing the keywords that matter to you and your customers. And also, what it does is provides the content ideas based on that. So you can see these are various content ideas, and you can see the engagement that those particular content ideas have got, and the backlinks that has got then as well. So some really interesting stories on there. But you can look at those and say, right, okay, that's getting particular engagement. That's a subject matter that's obviously important to my followers as well. Let's create a piece of content that is similar to that, because we know that that's going to get good engagement. If you're on B2B, great way to attract customers. It was just a networking event, my first networking event in 10 years. You can LinkedIn have a great QR code which you can scan and connect and immediately connect with people automatically. So everybody had their phones out and they were scanning their their mobile phones to make LinkedIn connections. You can also make mass connections then using Find Nearby by LinkedIn. I know I think they've disabled this, but it might be making a reappearance now that we've got more in-person events. So it's using Bluetooth to see anybody else that's using LinkedIn within, I think it's a couple of 100-yard radius, and then you can automatically connect with those people. I wouldn't be a HubSpot partner if I didn't mention HubSpot. HubSpot have a free CRM that allows you to upload your customers, companies, deals, tasks, tickets, conversations as well. And you can have your Facebook and LinkedIn ads through the platform as well. So the free version is no cost to you then as well. And you can provide things like lead capture forms. So that example where I was saying about, somebody wants to download a white paper, you can create a nice little form where they fill in that information, they download the white paper, and you get that lead into your CRM automatically then as well. There's free email marketing tools as well with HubSpot, and then you can set up nice little things like chatbots that automate that process. So when someone lands to your website, you can have the chatbot communicating with that person, collecting their email address, and then you can get in contact with them at a time that suits you. Obviously, the crux of something like HubSpot is that you've got a free CRM, so you can actually look at your contacts that are on there and the activity that contact is and how they've engaged with your website. Another great email marketing platform is MailChimp, free to use for up to 2,000 recipients. You can use the free tool with HubSpot. MailChimp has a fantastic email marketing platform that you can just use and build in. The only thing with these free versions, HubSpot, MailChimp as well, if you're using the free version, there will be a little logo at the bottom saying this email was created for free using MailChimp, and that's the only payment. You're advertising their brand through that. If you pay a little bit extra, you get that branding removed from your email. From a social media perspective, from a graphics point of view, if anybody hasn't used Canva, please use it. It is absolutely fantastic. It allows you to resize social media graphics, blog graphics. This very presentation was created in Canva as well. Any posters, anything, great for building content and also infographics then as well. And then any video content, there's a couple of really good ones. Animated videos are very good if you've got a very complex service that you want to describe. Animated videos, very good opportunity for creating that particular piece of content. But there's also other things like Animoto, Instagram, and Typeto, which work really well for video content that you can generate yourself. They probably have free trial versions that are out there. One thing I will say, Canva's great for creating content yourself. These video platforms are great for creating content yourself. If you want a good professional piece of content, go to a videographer or go to a web designer or a brand designer then as well. But these give you good control and empowerment to create your own content. And then other things, if you haven't done so on social media platforms, create company pages. You can create a company page on LinkedIn for absolutely no cost at all. Facebook for no cost at all. Instagram, same thing as well. Now with Facebook, you've got the capabilities of WhatsApp. Everybody is using it. I've got about 40 different WhatsApp groups, whether it's family, whether it's the kids, GA, clubs. There's the conversations going on all over the place. WhatsApp is owned by Facebook. Obviously, Facebook now will give you the capabilities to build a good WhatsApp business account that you can target your customers as well. From a social media scheduling, there's two real kind of big players that are out there. Buffer and Hootsuite are absolutely fantastic. They allow you to publish content at the right time of day and the right day of the week to your followers then as well. So again, free versions. Buffer has a free version for up to Buffer has a free version for each social media channel that you've got, and the same thing for Hootsuite. If you've got extra channels, you're going to have to pay that little bit extra. Now, it is limited in the amount of posts that you can publish, but if you're, maybe you've got maybe 2 weeks of posts, you can publish those and have those scheduled for absolutely free on the platform. Really, really good. You're looking for customer feedback. There's tons of free things that are out there as well. Google Forms, we talked about Google My Business, and then obviously SurveyMonkey as well. So apologies, we've run over a bit of time there, but I wanted to get across some of the tools that could help you. Again, as I said, I'll pass these on to Aidan at the end of the session, and he can forward those on to you as well. So thank you very much. And there's my contact details if anyone wants to get in touch or any questions.
Superb. Oh, the QR code as well. I love it.
Yeah.
Fantastic. A fantastic hour and a bit. It's, it's funny, the the digital marketing sessions that we have on here, Niall, they're the ones that run over time. I don't mind running over time. It makes no difference. It's just it is what it is, because there's so much content. There's so much out there that you can just take and modularize and put it the way you want it. It's absolutely fantastic, and it's been a huge error. There's so much content, and it was just fantastic, especially the bits at the end, the different tools that we can actually use just to visually see them, and the way you've presented them. It's fascinating, because it starts your mind churning over instantly. That creative spark that's drifting around in us somewhere is always. Deirdre again is saying excellent. Thanks very much. And absolutely, it has been a fantastic hour. I'd just like to say to everyone as well, before you go, in the chat right now at the moment, I've shared a link for Niall's replay, which means you can replay the entire session. You can check the links. You can we'll resend on the links for the videos, etc. as well afterwards. So you can come back and use this as a reference point when you're expanding your digital footprint, as it were. Also, it dovetails very nicely with Simon's develop a growth mindset tomorrow, which we're showing. So you've got the actual physical infrastructure being shown to you by Niall here, how to create your own digisphere, as it were, and then Simon dovetailing nicely with building your own growth mindset tomorrow to be able to put it out onto the digital digisphere tomorrow. It's absolutely fantastic. Niall, thank you so much. It's been brilliant. On behalf of Trained In, SkillNet Ireland, Taste for Success, I'd like to say thank you, and thank you to all the people at home who have been tuning in as well. It's fantastic. Thank you very, very much.
No problem. Thank you.
Hope to talk to you again soon, sir. Ciao for now.
No problem.
Bye-bye.
Sure.